The Late Show studio buzzed with energy, alive with anticipation as Stephen Colbert strode to his desk, his smile wide, his presence magnetic. The crowd erupted, their cheers shaking the walls, a promise of sharp truths and real laughs ahead. From him sat Elon Musk, tousled hair, a casual slouch, and a gleam of arrogance in his eyes. The billionaire's presence radiated power. His hands rested confidently on the chair as if already in command. The audience, split between Colbert loyalists and Musk's tech disciples, responded with a mix of cheers and tension, eager for the exchange about to unfold. Colbert opened with his trademark charm. "Folks," he said, his tone laced with playful edge, "tonight we've got a big guest, Elon Musk, the man with more money than most countries and a plan to ditch Earth for Mars." Laughter rippled through the studio. Colbert's wit, sharp as ever, cut through the room like a trusted voice for the everyman. Musk smirked, leaning back. "Stephen, I'm saving humanity one rocket at a time. You're welcome." The condescension in his tone landed with a thud. A few chuckles, a few murmurs. The unease in the room was subtle but real. Colbert raised an eyebrow. "Saving us, huh? Still flaunting that billionaire glow like it's our privilege to watch?" The crowd laughed, but the atmosphere tightened. This wasn't just entertainment anymore. It was a sparring match with stakes. "So Elon," Colbert pivoted, "this Mars plan, is it a real mission to save the planet? Or just a cosmic playground for the ultra-rich to escape us Earthlings?" Another wave of laughter and applause. Musk shrugged, unfazed. "Serious, Stephen. Earth's a mess. Mars is the future." His tone was distant, almost cold. Some clapped politely, others didn't. The disconnection hung there like static. Colbert leaned forward. "The future, huh? What about the rest of us stuck footing the bill for your cosmic joyride?" The question landed like a stone. The room held its breath. Musk scoffed. "You're whining about bills now? Stick to comedy, Stephen. Leave the vision to me." A hush. Then gasps. Some soft boos. The tension snapped taut like a drawn bow. Colbert's smile faded to steel. "Comedy? Maybe. But I'm not the one dodging reality with a private planet." Cheers erupted. A wave of approval surged through the room. The moral weight shifted. Firmly to Colbert. Musk's smirk thinned, his fingers drumming the armrest. The battle lines had been drawn, and as the crowd rallied behind Colbert, the studio became more than a set. It became a stage for something deeper. A clash of visions, values, and voices. Musk's fingers tapped the armrest with a restless edge, his cold eyes sweeping the audience like they were ants beneath his boots, a mogul poised to bulldoze anything in his path. Colbert sat unmoved, his grin fading into a calm, steady line. His voice sliced clean through the tension. "Dodging reality, Elon. That's rich. Coming from the guy who thinks Mars will fix everything while the rest of us are stuck here picking up the pieces." The jab landed hard. The audience erupted, clapping, some whooping, solid behind their host. Musk's armor cracked just slightly. The temperature in the room spiked. Musk leaned in, eyes sharp, voice colder. "Oh, Stephen, so noble, right? Crying for the little people while I'm out here solving problems. Maybe stick to your jokes." It wasn't a rebuttal. It was a dismissal. The audience recoiled. Boos grew louder. Some shouted. The wave of unease turned to anger. The battle was no longer subtle, it was explosive. Colbert didn't flinch. His eyes lit up, voice ringing clear. "Jokes, sure, but at least I'm not pretending my bank account makes me a savior. You solving problems, Elon? For who, yourself?" The words struck like a lightning bolt, fierce but fair. The crowd rose to their feet, cheering. The studio shook with the force of their approval. A host taking a stand, a titan being challenged. Musk lashed back, his voice rising. "You don't get it, Stephen. I'm building the future. You're stuck whining about fairness like it means something. Pathetic." The scorn was palpable. The crowd turned, louder, angrier, bolder now. Jeers, shouts. Musk's entitlement had snapped the room in half. But Colbert remained steady, his voice unwavering. The future? Sounds like a pretty excuse to leave us behind. I'm not whining. I'm watching out for them, something you've clearly forgotten. He motioned to the audience. They roared, a tidal wave of applause and cheers crashing over him. A host standing tall, a leader, not just a comedian. Musk's patience shattered. He surged to his feet, his chair scraping with a harsh grind. I don't need this, Stephen. You're a clown. I'm done with your sanctimonious garbage. He tore off his mic, the cord whipping loose as he glared, face twisted with fury, his cool billionaire veneer shattered. Keep your little show. I've got better things to do. With a storm of footsteps, Musk bolted off stage. Booing thundered behind him. A few cheers, but mostly outrage. The studio quaked from the noise, a sonic backlash to his arrogance. Colbert sat back slowly, raising his hands in mock farewell. Elon, take care. Mars won't miss you. His voice cool, controlled. A parting shot, soft in tone, sharp in truth. The audience exploded, standing, clapping, shouting. The confrontation had flared, burned out, and left Musk exposed. Colbert sat poised, steady at his desk. The mic dangled in Musk's now empty chair, like a trophy from a battle won. The crowd surged again. Cheers, chants, applause rising in waves. The air crackled with victory. Colbert's face was a blend of resolve and quiet strength, his breath even, his presence unshaken. Backstage, chaos erupted. Crew darted through the wings, headsets buzzing, phones glowing. Musk had stormed past a producer's outstretched hand, his coat flapping behind him as he disappeared, snarling under his breath. His ego had cracked, his exit a firestorm. Whispers flew fast. Staff exchanged wide-eyed glances. Musk had been edgy, even before the show, pacing, short-tempered, rattled by Colbert's reputation for slicing through spin. Now clips of the confrontation were already flooding the internet. A spark had lit a blaze, and the world was watching. I'm done with your sanctimonious garbage. Musk's words echoed like a gunshot. Raw, bitter, final. A viral spark in the making. Online, the storm ignited instantly. Some slammed his tantrum, others hailed Colbert's stand. But inside, the studio, the spotlight held steady. Colbert didn't flinch. He owned the room, the set now his battleground, the crowd his army. This was his moment, and he rose to it with the grace of someone who danced on the edge before. Leaning into the mic, voice smooth and effortless, he let it land. Well, folks, looks like Elon's off to colonize the green room. Guess he didn't like the view from Earth. The line hit like a perfect serve. The audience roared. Laughter cracked the tension wide open, loud, relieved, real. Some clapped, others whooped. The collective exhale of a crowd rooting for its voice. Colbert didn't gloat. He guided. Hand steady on the desk, he let the energy breathe. He didn't fuel the fire Musk had sparked, he tamed it, turned it. I thought we were going to talk rockets, he said with a grin. Didn't think we'd launch one off stage. My bad. The mimic of Musk's mic toss sent another wave of laughter through the room. What had been a blowout now felt like a bond, a shared inside joke born from chaos. The audience laughed with him, not at Musk. That was the difference. Colbert wasn't petty. He was poised. Then came the pivot, clean, confident. All right, let's move on. We've still got a show to do. You folks ready for some fun? The crowd surged, standing, clapping, shouting back their answer. Not just yes, but hell yes. Their cheers shook the studio like thunder. This wasn't about taking Musk down, it was about lifting the night back up. In that moment, Colbert didn't just recover the show, he elevated it. Not by slinging mud, but by building a bridge of rhythm, wit, and trust. The segment flowed forward with grace. The buzz of the crowd a steady pulse. Their eyes locked on Colbert, their hearts anchored to the way he carried them through. What could have spiraled into scandal became something else entirely, a moment of collective clarity. Not over Musk's fall, but over Colbert's rise. The break came, then passed. And when the lights returned, so did the energy. Brighter, louder. A tide of applause washed over the studio. The earlier tension now only a ripple, a memory. Colbert stood tall, grin wide, eyes gleaming with quiet resolve. The crowd saw it too. This was a host who had faced a billionaire's tantrum and come out standing for them. No ego, just heart. They clapped louder, cheered harder, a storm of noise honoring not just a man, but a moment. He didn't linger on Musk's meltdown, didn't squeeze it for easy laughs. He let it pass. "Well, folks," he said, voice easy, smile real. "Bit of turbulence tonight. Elon took off, faster than one of his rockets, but hey, we're still here, right?" The crowd erupted, laughter again, some standing, some slapping their thighs, the release they didn't know they needed. The night had been chaos, but Colbert had caught the pieces mid-air and turned them into a story, not of bitterness, but of balance, a rhythm they followed with every cheer, every nod. The show, their show, lived on. Online, clips exploded, Musk's mic drop, Colbert's comeback, racing across timelines. A digital firestorm lit up with takes and reactions. Some bashed Musk's ego, others praised Colbert's poise. But in the studio, one thing was clear. A host had turned conflict into connection, a battle into a bond. And the night? It belonged to Colbert. The noise swelled, stretching the night's reach. A saga echoing far beyond the studio walls. A win carved in resolve for the host who never flinched. Musk's camp stayed silent. No statement, no spin, no word strong enough to smother the flame. Meanwhile, Colbert's team watched the numbers climb, views stacking like applause in pixels. His steady hand had become the moment's anchor. A clash, yes, but more so a launch pad, not for chaos, for clarity. Back on stage, he welcomed the musical guest, and the band lit up the room. Lively notes flowed like light through glass, washing over the crowd, melting the night's raw edges into warmth. People swayed, smiled. Their applause now a rhythm of relief, a pulse of connection. The fire had passed. What remained was the glow. Close, honest, and earned. Not from striking back, but from standing tall. The clock wound down. Colbert stood alone in the light, his presence calm, commanding. A beacon wrapped in grace. His voice rich with gratitude. "You folks are the heart of this. Thanks for sticking with me. Hit that like button if you felt it. Subscribe for more real nights." And the room exploded, a standing ovation that thundered through the rafters, a roar for the host who turned tension into triumph, step by unshakable step. The cameras pulled wide, faces lit with pride, some still buzzing, others beaming, all bound to a night that had ended not in outrage, but in meaning. Musk's arrogance faded into memory. Colbert's fire remained, a spark that refused to dim. The screen faded to black, a perfect close to a show that soared, a call to stay true, to stand for more, and, if you felt that, smash that like, subscribe, and stick around. The real ones are just getting started.